into the stalls is going to be Anthony Van Dyck. Let's get up and join Alan Howes to call them home in the Derby trial.
Anthony Van Dyck, the last in. Stand by. And they're off for the RaceBets Derby trial. This listed race for the Colts and Geldings over the 1 mile 3.5 furlongs, and plenty want to go up there early. It's Pablo Escobarr in the green jacket that will lead them as they race around the opening corner. Just in front of Nate the Great, wider out then Three Comets. Nipping up the inside is Severance, and it's now Severance who's claimed the lead under George Downing. At a good gallop down the far side they head, led by Severance a length and a half to Pablo Escobarr in second. In the yellow in third is Three Comets. Next is Nate the Great, followed by Anthony Van Dyck, who is in fifth place. A neck in advance centre, the Max We Can. A further half a length away to Eagles by Day. Then Cap Francais. Hiroshima is second to last, and Ranch Hand is at the back of the field under David Probert. About to take that corner right over on the back straight, and Severance now leads by the best part of 3 lengths over Pablo Escobarr in second place under James Doyle. A dispute for third involving Nate the Great and Three Comets. Another length and a half away to Anthony Van Dyck, who runs in fifth. Behind him then in the grey jacket is Eagles by Day, followed by the Max We Can and Cap Francais. Then came Hiroshima, and last of all is Ranch Hand as they climb over on the back straight. Severance has the lead from Pablo Escobarr in second, Nate the Great in third. Anthony Van Dyck travels up the inside of him under Ryan Moore. Then Three Comets with 5 furlongs to go. Cap Francais and Eagles by Day the next two. Then the Max We Can and Hiroshima, and Ranch Hand is the final runner, making the downhill turn back towards home soon. And out in front it's Severance who leads inside the final half a mile. 2 in second, placing Pablo Escobarr with a perfect sit as they're about to turn in. Three Comets driven on the outside of Nate the Great. Then Anthony Van Dyck, who sticks towards the inside. Ahead of Eagles by Day is yet to be unleashed. Max We Can has been ridden along. Then Hiroshima and Ranch Hand, they go down towards the final 2.5. And it's Pablo Escobarr who serves it up here to Severance. Anthony Van Dyck ridden up there now by Ryan Moore. Cap Francais coming into it, white sleeves and cap, as they run now down towards the final furlong and a half. Anthony Van Dyck now draws level with Pablo Escobarr. Severance drops away. Nate the Great and Cap Francais are the next two inside the final furlong. Near side is Pablo Escobarr. Anthony Van Dyck though challenging hard, and it's Anthony Van Dyck now who moves into the lead from Pablo Escobarr, and on the run towards the line the RaceBets Derby trial goes to Anthony Van Dyck. Beat Pablo Escobarr, Nate the Great in third, then Cap Francais ahead of Ranch Hand and Eagles by Day, then Severance and Hiroshima, the Max We Can, and Three Comets.
Anthony Van Dyck wins a 5th edition of this Lingfield Derby trial, or a 5th renewal, I should say, for Aidan O'Brien, who's dominated in recent years here. And Anthony Van Dyck has produced a really pleasing performance here to get the better by a couple of lengths of the rallying Pablo Escobarr, who's been prominent throughout, attract the leaders and put up a really good performance in second here. Just tried to out-battle him in the straight, but in the end it's Anthony Van Dyck who's asserted, and it was Nate the Great who was back in third. But a really pleasing performance from this. There were question marks over the ground, there were question marks over the trip, but he certainly answered all of them in spades here. He was settled in around mid-division, turning into the home straight. He's been asked for his effort here under Ryan Moore, and has really stuck his neck out and travelled really strongly all the way to the line in the end. Two sons of Galileo going head to head. We know how tough they are, we know how dominant they are as a crop, and in the end it was Anthony Van Dyck, Galileo, out of an Exceeding Excel mare, hence the speed on that dam side, that has knuckled down and stayed the trip really well. Obviously we spoke beforehand about his excellent form as a 2-year-old, but many suspecting that his best trip might lie at a mile. He ran the Tyros, the Futurity, before coming up against some very good horses in Quarter and Too Darn Hot. Didn't get the best of times or best of runs in the Breeders' Cup, but they will no doubt be very pleased with just how professionally he's gone through the race, notably with that camber at the top bend as you come into Lingfield. He's handled it really nicely, skirted round the rail, and really knuckled down in the finish. So yet another Derby trial, one for trainer Aidan O'Brien with Ryan Moore on board.